Next to San Marco Square and connected to the Doge's Palace by the Bridge of Sighs is the Palazzo delle Prigioni, or Palace of Prisons. People were once locked up here. Today, it's more often the site of classical music concerts, and during this biennale, home to a solo exhibition of work by Taiwanese artist Wu Tianchang. As with Hong Kong's exhibition, Taiwan's is a collateral event. As a condition for its entry into the 2001 Biennale, the People's Republic of China demanded that organizers demote Taiwan's nation status to that of a collateral participant. Since then, national identity and national isolation have played a large part in Taiwan's presentations. Wu Tianchang's Never Say Goodbye is no exception, as figures in still images and video shift from a gaudy propagandist optimism to a sense of despair and loss. It's a dialogue with Taiwan's own past, as well with the history of the exhibition space.
我创作的东西很多都是表象是一个欢乐的或者是鲜艳的世界、华丽的世界，但是它隐藏着一个比较黑暗的、空洞的那种心理状态。鬼魅是来自于那个精神性的状态。我觉得这是一种视觉的张力，就是说你用的两个意象是对立的，在这两个对立的中间有一条缝。那我作品就是洋溢的这种，把生死的两端用一个中间那个临界点，它的张力是我喜欢的。所以我的视觉如果说可以感染人的话，就是因为它在那一条缝里头。
For 2 of the 5 works on show, Wu has converted his earlier two-dimensional photography works, Our Hearts Beat as One, and Blind Men Groping Down the Lane into lightbox installations. Again, behind the smiles and flamboyance, there is darkness, a sense of loss, and of the limitations of mortality.
我喜欢创造一种虚实的美感，就是说，你本来看到一个很真实的东西，可是慢慢它变成假的，或者你看到一个很假的东西，可是慢慢它变成真的。我常常创造的好像照片，照片其实是实在的哦。你开大灯，你看得到照片，可是你投影机投过来电影院都是开暗的，电影开大灯，电影就不存在了。皮毛很吊诡，就是说人类在刚出生的时候，做一个婴儿，他的眼睛还没打开，还没有对应这个世界，没有认知的时候，他是透过皮肤去感受母亲给他的爱。所以说，皮毛其实就是人类的第一层性器官。但是同样的，皮毛也是一种修复创伤的一个修复的机制。今天如果烫伤了，你被火烧伤了，你必须去植皮。所以我们觉得我的皮毛带的伤痕，就是台湾近代史里头被历届殖民统治的过程里头历史的创伤。我出生在50年代，我们那年代的人称为婴儿潮世代，就是2次世界大战刚好结束了。我们经历过台湾解严，我们也看过台湾变成亚洲的4小龙，也看到台湾现在的纷扰。所以我们这一代的人比较有历史感。我的朋友只要是我这个年代的，通常他们在创作上对这个时事的感怀是有的。
Nationality, and more specifically national borders, are the primary topic of another collateral event. My East is Your West. Presented by the Delhi-based Gujral Foundation, it brings together for the first time at a major international art event artists from the historically conflicting nations of India and Pakistan. India's Shilpa Gupta and Pakistan's Rashid Rana. The artists say their aim was to create a dialogue on and open up perceptions regarding shared borders, migration, perception, and identity. Both artists say they're not comfortable with art as a representation of a nation, which is why they were willing to work together to encourage more collaboration between the countries.
I think the world is increasingly becoming a hard place to live in. I mean, I've grown up in a city like Bombay. I've seen the riots in 1992. It was really brutal. It really affected a lot of people, some even around me. It's not that we're proposing that the two countries become one, but what we're proposing is that let us not focus and imagine that we are as different as it's been projected. Art comes from a creative space. Creative space can be quite boundless and can be quite free. It's interesting, maybe healthy, to look at the world in a positive way. So a lot of my works deal with overlapping histories and geographies that we share.
For the past 4 years, Shilpa Gupta has been working on a series of works that includes installations, video, photography, performance, drawing, and text-based pieces. Called Untitled, the series is the result of over 4 years of research in the India-Bangladesh borderlands. Her pieces highlight the sometimes absurd contradictions and inconsistencies of the national boundaries and the conflicting values either side of them. Among the works in Venice, a performance-based installation called 998.9 is a reference to a 3,400-kilometer barbed wire fence border between India and Bangladesh. The work incorporates 3,394 meters of hand-woven cloth made by people from Fulia, a town on the India-Bangladesh border. There has been much controversy over the border, which at some points passes through villages or even buildings. Over 500 people have been killed by Indian forces for crossing it. In one piece, Gupta invites visitors to take an envelope, which they can only open after moving 150 yards away. That's the distance from the zero line between the countries within which any construction was banned according to the 1974 Indo-Bangladesh Boundary Agreement. She says that the way nationality divides people saddens her, and she hopes one day it will be no more than a category on a form.
We focus too much on the present, and nation states, the oldest nation, for example, is only 200 years old. That's not so much in terms of time. Human beings go back far, far, far beyond that.
Rashid Rana, who lives and works mostly in Lahore, Pakistan, looks at the idea of the border through works in which time and location are displaced, or in which small individual parts can make up a very different whole. In some works, very contemporary images and video make up classical paintings.
I just wanted to make work which can, be admired or engaged by not just the art crowd, but a bit of a wider audience. And for that, I use visual strategies which can seduce visitors and the viewers. What I want them to engage with is the disparity or the relationship between the micro and the macro. But in this case, the smaller fragments are also belong to the same macro image, which is David's painting. And as far as the technique of using micro videos is concerned, Caravaggio's painting, with the help of YouTube footage, first came to my mind. I was just going through lots of videos, and I picked two categories of videos. One which is based on real life footage, such as clips from CCTV camera footage or media reportage. This is all real life. Or the other category is something that comes from fiction and fictional, which is from film. I mixed these clips from fictional and unreal backgrounds and amalgamated them to create this Caravaggio's piece over here.
In another work, viewers in a room in Venice come face-to-face in real time with viewers in a room in Lahore, and in a 3-hour different time zone.
What time is it there?
This this idea of displacement of time and location is crucial to this project. Viewer having to experience themselves, seeing the reflection of your own room, but then finding out that the room that you're looking at is actually not the same room, but it's a room that I've created in another continent, in Lahore, where people walk in expecting that they will see some art, but they end up seeing each other, and the difference between the viewer and the viewed and the act of viewing is challenged.
The Venice Biennale, with its mixture of international exhibitions and visitors with national pavilions and nationalistic exhibitions, can't help but showcase the dialogue between what divides and what unites humanity, and artists in particular. For many artists, the hope is that in the end, art will help to transcend and create empathy more than it will separate.
The idea is that we live in the world when it's an age of nation states. The political borders are very hard. I think it's great that we do not just have India or Pakistan separate pavilions, and we can represent the region. These are just small steps, but it can have an effect in the long run. And I think I do believe in the power of art.